Hi, my name is Gudrun from GE Designs. Welcome to my live quilting chat, Tipsy Tuesday. Hi everybody, and welcome to Tipsy Tuesday. This is, I believe, our 54th episode. I'd like to welcome all the new viewers. We have a lot of new followers to the Facebook group and a lot of new subscribers on YouTube too. So we're live both on Facebook and YouTube. So welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here, both to all the new people and to those of you that are tuning in on a regular basis. I love it. I love to now starting to recognize and see some familiar faces and names. I have seen in the comments that we have multiple countries in the house, so welcome. I see the Night Owls in Norway and Iceland are here with us, so hi to all of you and all over the United States. I saw that we had some Canadians in the house as well, so welcome everybody. Make sure to tell us your name and where you're tuning in from. It's always fun to go through and see. So on today's show, I will be doing a demonstration on making the A blocks from my Marina Quilt, which can be found in my Stripology Mixology book. And the quilt is hanging right behind me. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now. So I'll be going through that, and then next week on our next Tipsy Tuesday episode, I'll take you through the B blocks. So of course I'm here to answer all your questions live. So if you have a chance, post them in the comments and I will try my best to get to them. Just know we can't get to all of them. We have a lot of people watching, but we will try, and if we have something major that we missed, we will try and answer it after the fact. So please use the thumbs up if you're watching on a mobile device. I would love to see some thumbs up and some hearts if you like what you're seeing. And of course, you can share the video if you have friends that you think would benefit or enjoy our videos. So let's see who's here. I see Mary's just down around the corner in Stillwater, Minnesota. We have Nanette from San Diego and Luann from Battle Creek, Michigan. And Darlie's from Wisconsin and Debbie from North Carolina. Great to see everybody. Thank you for being here. I wanted to start with just a little update, something that wasn't planned, just something I received in the mail today. Now, many of you probably were a part of my Hope Quilt Along and the fundraising. And so today we got a fun box in the mail from the Girl Scouts and a card that I'd like to read to you. Of course, there were some cookies in the box. So it says, "Dear Gudrun, thank you for your generous purchase of cookies for Girl Scouts Cookies for a Cause program. Your donations allow us to bring a little bit of joy to the organizations on the front lines of the COVID-19 response. Not only that, but it also helps fund troop activities and our council's financial assistance program throughout the year. Thank you for being a force of good in our communities. Sincerely, Girl Scouts River Valley's product program team." So thank you so much. It was really nice to receive a card. I have to say that both Hope Breakfast Bar and Chef's Feed Our Front Lines posted amazing thank yous on social media and tagged us in it. So we really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And then the bonus donations that I told you that we raised after the Hope Quilt Along. I told you a little bit about a program or an organization here local to me that I wanted to donate to because it spoke to my heart. So I wanted to read to you their mission statement. I went on their website and donated $1,600 that you have raised with the Hope Pattern to them. So this organization is called Launch Ministries. It provides all 18 to 29-year-olds with free referrals, housing assistance, and support services for their transition into adulthood. Launch Ministry is a nonprofit organization geared towards helping young adults transition successfully into adulthood. We provide a safe space for struggling young adults, 18 to 29-year-olds. Holistic life transformation that affects all aspects of life is at the heart of our ministry. Our desire is to create mentoring relationships, living communities, job training, discipleship, and more to guide post-teens into successful independent lives. Additionally, we also offer support groups and curriculum for parents who need encouragement as they launch their young adult children into adulthood. So they're doing a great job here, and they were so appreciative. So that was really spoke to my heart and warmed my heart to see that. So I'm excited about that, and thank you all again for taking part in this and purchasing the whole pattern for our donations. Now, those of you that are new here, we have a giveaway at the end of the show, so make sure you hang tight with us throughout the end. I also have a little special something for those of you that stay live with us. Yes, a special something. So hang tight. But of course, we have one live giveaway. So we randomly pick one live commenter. So the more you comment, the more your odds are to win. And then we also have a question, a giveaway question at the end that those of you that cannot watch us live can also be a part of and answer that giveaway question. So that giveaway question last week, I asked you what is the smallest scrap that you save? And our winner is Brenda Swenseth. Congratulations. Her smallest scrap is 2.5 inch. I love making little pin cushions with walnut fillings. So that sounds beautiful. So much more than I would ever have patience to do. Little stuff is just not my thing. I like make big quilts, maybe some table runners. That's probably the smallest. But congratulations, Brenda, you have won a $25 gift card to the GE Quilt Design store. And we will get that out to you. So contact us if you see this. Make sure you send me an email and we will get that gift card to you, that code that you can use online. Now, I hope your weekend was great. Mine was pretty good. I got a lot of stuff done. I was very productive. I am putting my final touches on my patterns, the 4 new patterns, 2 of which you know who are. And got some photos done this morning. Beautiful morning. I was going to do my photos yesterday, but it rained all day and it was just yucky here. But a beautiful day today. And preferably when you're taking photos, quilt photos, you want to have a little overcast and not direct sunlight. So we got that this morning. And then as we were finishing up, the sun came out and we were trying to find some shade. But we got it done, and so I'm excited to start finalizing those pattern covers and getting them off to the printer this week. So we will, of course, have a final reveal for all of you when we launch the new patterns. So before we go into the Marina demonstration, I want to talk a little bit about Fast and Furious Club, because our final project of the season goes live tomorrow, May 20th, or really at midnight tonight. So this is our ninth project and the May project for the Fast and Furious Club. Let's put that up. It's called May Baskets Table Topper. So this is the cover of the video class. But I wanted to talk that we have so many new people that have asked very many questions about Fast and Furious Club. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about it, how it works. So this is our 9th project. So it's a 9-month program. We started in September. We run through September through May. Once a month, I release a pattern with a video class, taking you through all the steps of making the pattern. All of the patterns are quilt as you go, so they are smaller projects, runners, toppers, and things that we can do quilt as you go, which just means we are starting with our backing and batting, sewing through all the layers at the same time as we're piecing, and so all you have to do at the end is put your binding on and you're done. So all those projects are small. I try to vary them by theme. Sometimes some of them are a little seasonal, others are not. And so I try to have a variety too. So some of the beginning ones are easier. And so somebody that wants to learn along the way, you have that opportunity to kind of try different techniques as we move through the club. So it's been a really fun thing. And when we launched it in August of last year, always when I launch a product, I give my great followers some advantage. So when we launched it, we gave an advantage to purchase the 9 months up front with, of course, a great discount. And today you can still purchase all 9 months, and that's, of course, how you're going to get the greatest savings. It's about a little bit over $10 per project, which includes a pattern and a class. And then you have the option of doing 3 projects at a time. We call them trimesters, because I only release the next 3 projects. You can see the next 3 projects at a time. So then we release the next trimester. So you can purchase them in trimesters, or you can just purchase them individually. If you see something you like, you can just like this one, like that one. So there's lots of options. No need to kind of really overcommit yourself. So you can kind of take it at your own pace. And yes, there will be a season 2. But I wanted to kind of, since we're at the end here, first off, I wanted to just show you the topper that is this month's project, which I think is so perfect for the season. So a little table topper with rounded corners. I'm going to put it over the overhead camera so you can see it a little up close. So baskets with some fusible applique, very simple. And so this will be released tonight at midnight. You will be able to, those of you that are members, either bought the 9-month or the 3-month trimester, this will automatically be in your account on GE Quilt Designs. If you would just like to purchase this one by itself, that product will be available at midnight tonight as well. But let me show you some of the other project that we've done throughout the year. So I wanted to go through all of them just to give, kind of, recap the year and show you how much fun we've had. So the first one was the Take It Easy runner, which is a really simple, fun runner done with just one charm pack. So this was our first project, and many of you made multiples because it was just one of those that is easy to make, and you find a charm pack and you just got to try it. And then our second project, which was our October project, was the Boo to You table runner. So our little ghost runner for Halloween, with really cool kind of edges on the ends, kind of non-traditional edges. So I love this one. You could make all the faces either happy or sad or scary, or mix them all up. And then our November project was a tree skirt. So here's the full-size tree skirt. It fits, a floor tree skirt for a big tree. I can't only see a part of it, of course. But I offered this in 2 sizes, so either for the floor or as a table topper, you can make the smaller version, or if you have like a tabletop Christmas tree, this is perfect for that. I also made it just in some fun summer colors because it doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas. So this one is done, is the same table topper. It's called Noel. And then for December, we did Winter Beauty, little toppers. So they were 2 toppers. These are made with fat quarters. It was kind of fun because you got 2 out of it. So it's just easy to make 2 at a time. Really great gifts, perfect for a candle or a plant in the middle, and just to add some cheer to your table. Then we go into January and we did a runner called Good Times. This was a really fun runner. You could do scrappy with a little accent. I did 2 different colors, the blacks and then the grays. And those of you, I see there's questions coming up. We still do have some kits for the Good Times runner in both colorways. We may have 1 or 2 left of the Winter Beauty, and we do have the Noel smaller topper in both these colors and these. All the other kits we are out of. Then we're moving into February, and we did a long runner called Tail Feather. It was a longer one, really a fun technique for this one. And so great for those long tables, but you could also adjust the length. If you wanted it smaller, you could easily adjust. If you wanted it wider or longer, you could always adjust it. And so here's another colorway of that one. And these kits ran out a while back. They were popular. And then for March, we did the Spilled Beans runner, which here's one of the colorways. This is the rainbow colorway, and we do have some kits for that still. And the other colorway, the Harper's Garden colorway, is actually hanging here behind me, right here on the side. So a little bit more florals and fun stuff in the beans. And then for April, we did Low Tide table runner using Fed 8s cut into different width strips. So this was the beach side, and I have another colorway hanging behind me. That one over here. So you could do it with all kinds of colors and just mix it up and have fun. And then of course our 9th and final project is the May baskets. So a lot of fun stuff, isn't it? And a lot of different techniques. As I look over it, I think the variety is great. And I think those of you that did do all of them or are planning on have probably learned some things, some new things that you haven't done before. I hope you have. And if you have any questions on the Fast and Furious Club, please post them. I'll be happy to see if I can answer any questions about the club. Some favorites, those of you that participated, I would love to hear which ones were your favorites, which ones were your favorite projects out of the whole group. Somebody's saying tail feathers was really fun. That's good. Take it easy. I can hear that. That one was really fast. So the video, somebody's asking about the videos. Can you watch them on your own, or is it a one-time show? No, so that's all on your own. So when you purchase the specific project or the whole club, if you want to set up an account on GE Design, so then you can just log into your account and access your digital files, and that's where the videos will be. So you can stream them as many times as you want, whenever you want. So they're not anywhere else but in your account. So you can do that forever. You can stream them forever, and it comes with the pattern. All right. Prices for the club and how do you sign up? There's no signing up. You just go to the website. There's a whole, in the shop area menu, you just scroll down and there's a whole Fast and Furious Club, which has the individual projects. So just when you purchase, you will get that particular pattern and the video if you purchase. So the individual ones are $14.95. The trimesters, so if you buy 3 in a pack, so that would be September through November, December through February, and then March through May. They are $34.95, and then if you purchase all 9, I believe that's $94.95, somewhere around there. So there's of course more savings the more you buy. What size is the May baskets? It's about 30 inches. So 30 or 31, I don't remember exactly. So Sarah says, can I buy the patterns now on Fast and Furious? So yes, they only come with a video. So patterns and video, all of them are available except for the May baskets. It will be available at midnight. Okay. So love the low tide with red, white, and blue. Bummed I missed the Scandi Fabric. Will there be more coming? Yes, there will be more coming. Okay. What is the green and gray quilt above your right shoulder? Green and gray. Oh, over here. This is, it's actually a stripped down quilt that I made. That was our strip along project 2 or 3 years ago. And that's the version I made back then. So not the one on the cover of the pattern. Okay. What size is the Christmas tree skirt? I don't have it in the top of my head. So I believe just under 60 inches, the large one. The small one, I can just measure it. We can just pop it up here. So measuring like the widest part, so tip to tip, like this. The small one is 33. So, and the width then is only about 28.9 inches. All right. Looks like fun to do. Yes, they are really, really fun. So there's just something about getting stuff done, you know, instant gratification, get something started and finish it up with a binding and putting it on your table. It just is something really great about that. Now, of course, I mentioned a little bit about there being a second season. Yes, we will launch the second season in August with the first project being live in September. So again, always a deal when you buy the 9 months up front. That was even a better deal than the 9 months are now. So you get to see the first 3 projects then, but you're kind of buying the rest of the year blindly. But that's kind of what's fun about it. There's always a little bit of a mystery to it. So if we don't have any more questions on the Fast and Furious Club, I just wanted to move on to our Marina demonstration. I'm just going to look quickly through. Are there any questions on YouTube that we need to address?
Are the projects good for beginners?
Are the projects good for beginners? I say absolutely yes. because sometimes as a beginner, I know I was, when I was starting quilting, the thing that intimidated me the most was the actual quilting part. So I could piece the tops, but to get them quilted was always the intimidating part. So having something that's quilt as you go, so you're working on it and then it's just done. You put the binding on and you can have a really great project done. That's really good for beginners, and especially how I built it, the easiest projects first and you kind of move on. They're really good and very forgiving as well.
When will you announce the next club?
When will I announce the next club? August. End of August, we will launch the season 2 and show you the first 3 projects and give you the opportunity to buy into it right up front. So Anne asks, if you join the club, when can you order the kits? So we make just a certain number of kits, and usually that's all planned so far ahead of time that we have just an X number. So once we announce the club and show you the 3 projects for the next 3 months or for that trimester, that's when you can purchase those 3 kits. And then we announce the next trimester, and that's when you can purchase the next 3 kits. So they usually have sold out pretty fast once we launch them, but believe me, I'm planning better, so we're planning for more amounts of kits. All right, so I think that's it for our Mary Hickey says Braid Runner was great too. Braid Runner was my first ever pattern that I released, and it was a quilt as you go table runner. So that's kind of how I got into the whole quilt as you go. Barb asks, are special rulers needed for those projects? Absolutely not. Of course, in the videos I do use my Stripology rulers, but you can use any rulers, just basic cutting. Nothing needed, but of course I always have little tools that are really helpful and I show you how to use them, but everything is optional. So Gretchen says, is the best time to sign up is August. So there's really no signing up. You just sign up by purchasing. So you can still go and purchase this first season's projects and play with those as much as you want. If you are thinking for next season, then yes, it's best to get in right away because we always have a special deal in the beginning. Okay, so I think we're ready to move on to our Marina. So Marina is a quilt in my Stripology Mixology book. So as you probably have seen in the back here, and let me just put up a photo of my Marina quilt. This quilt is made with all kind of nautical themed fabrics. I really wanted to make a nautical quilt, kind of my little obsession with all things nautical. And so I had been collecting fabrics for a long time, and so all of the fabrics have a nautical theme, but they come from multitude of different fabric lines. So what I did here is that I chose for block A, which is most of the navy blocks or the darker blue blocks with the white cross. Those are the block A's, and then the block B's are the ones with the navy X through them. So they create this really sharp visual contrast to each other. And so this quilt is really both versatile. I feel like it has that really strong nautical, simple, yet striking feel. It looks great on a bed, but also it's just, it can be very versatile, very masculine. And so it can be for anybody, just depending on what kind of fabrics you choose. And so I chose mine all like with that nautical theme, but they totally don't have to be that way. So you can just take your own route on that, whatever you like. And I have some examples for you that I snuck into my Facebook group and found some great Marina quilts that are already there. But so what I wanted to talk about, what you need for this quilt, of course the pattern is found in the book, so you will need to have the book if you want to make this quilt. So it's made with 10-inch squares. I cut them all myself using the Stripology rulers, but you can of course use layer cakes or any kind of pre-cuts. So you want to need an X amount of 10-inch squares for your block A and an X amount for your block B. Depends on the size that you're making. There's 4 different sizes. So your block A, I chose all of my blues to be block A. And then for block B, I used more lights and some of the reds for my block B. So that is kind of the key element, that the squares that you choose for block A and the squares that you choose for block B, make them different. So if you have a layer cake that is all kinds of colors, group them. So put some of the colors in A and the other colors in B. You don't want to mix them because you want that really sharp contrast, because you are going to have accent fabric, which is that white cross in mine for fabric A, for blocks A, and then that navy for my blocks B. So you need those two different contrast fabrics. Okay, so let's check out some other Marinas, and we're going to start with, this one is Monica's. And so she used, I think they're mostly batiks, are all kinds of fun. So very kind of a controlled colorway, I should say. So blues and greens, but look at how she kind of put all of her lighter tones in block B and her darker in block A. So she could use the white and then her lighter blocks or lighter 10-inch squares using that sharp navy for block B. So the next one is Nanette. This one I really loved because she used a layer cake that I loved. So she put all of her lighter and more pink colors in block B, and then the darker ones and the more florals in the block A with that turquoise accent. So I think it's really great. So she pulled out some of the colors in the other fabrics, and using that sharp dark for the B blocks really makes it sharp. So the next one is Sue's, and she used also kind of, I feel like nautical fabrics, very similar colorway as mine, except she used both red and blue for her block A's, as you can see. And it's great because it uses that white and it still shows a very sharp contrast. So this next one is Susie's. This one is really beautiful, really softer tones. So this is probably a Janet Claire's fabric line. I love her stuff. So again, she chose kind of the lighter colors for lighter colors and the taupe for block B, and then all the other blues for block A that really show off that white cross. Beautiful quilt. And here is Linda's, and so you don't have to have nautical at all. Look at this. Really fun how she used just kind of like a pumpkin color for the X's. That just makes sure you contrast all of the colors you have in the squares. So, and that red is really sharp for the B blocks. And this one is Linda's. Also, I think this one I taught as a class in Michigan. And so, again, very colorful. I believe she just used a pre-pack, so a pre-cut, and just sorted them. So putting the colors that really showed contrast with the white for block A, and then the lighter ones for block B, and a really sharp navy. Here's Trudy's quilt. Totally different, lots of greens, and great choices on the accent, but look at that. This is so far from being nautical at all, so I just love it. You can take it any which way you want. Very good job. And there we have Jody's. She used one of our bundles, which was Abbey Rose, so very floral, pinks and blues, and perfect combination. So all the blues, whether they were light or dark, went into block A, and then all the pinks and roses went into block B. So it was a great mix of that, really soft and florally. Love it. And then we have, last but not least, Debbie's. So very sharp, bright colors. This one, I love this one, and just so much fun. So when I was planning for teaching this quilt on a quilt cruise this past March, I put together 3 types of kits for the participants so they could choose, and this really reminds me of the tropical colorway that I put together with all tropical colors. We used kind of the blues for the A blocks and then all the other kind of juicy colors for the B blocks. So hopefully some of you that planned on learning this from me on the cruise are watching, and of course you can watch it after the facts. This show will be available on YouTube and then also on Facebook to view later on if you want to go back and watch it. But first off, what you start off with, you got your 10-inch squares for your A blocks, and your 10-inch squares for your B blocks. I'm going to put the B blocks aside, and we're going to start with our A block. So we're going to go over to the overhead camera, and I am going to be using my Stripology squared ruler. You can of course use the XL as well, but it's just easier for me to use this one. It's kind of easier to use, easier to maneuver. So we're going to start with our 10-inch squares. So I just have a stack here. Now these are all cut from a layer cake pack. So I just stack up however many I'm comfortable cutting at the same time. And then you want to find your 10-inch square on your ruler, and we're just going to cut them all at the same time. You're going to center that 10-inch square on your stack, and we're going to make 3 cuts. I haven't marked with my arrows. I always go on the 0 and the 10, especially when I'm using pre-cuts, because that kind of trims off my little pinked edges, and so I have a really clear edge to sew on. So we have our pieces in 2 parts like this. I don't worry about trimming the other 2 sides because we're going to do that later. So we're going to cut them apart. And then, of course, from our from our accent fabric, we're going to take our, I'm going to show you here, this piece. So here's an example of something I cut apart. And we're going to have 2 different size rectangles from our accent fabric. And so first off, we're just going to sew that between these 2 rectangles that we just cut from our 10-inch squares. So you sew one on. I like to sew one on, and then I like to press. And we're going to press this away from that middle strip. So I would just press this, and then I would add the other one on. Now, one thing that you need to be careful about is your seam allowance. We always want to use a scant 1/4-inch seam. And if you don't know what that is, that just means that after you sew and press, that our seam is accurate, which means once you have this sewn and pressed, this strip should measure an 1.5 inches exactly. I do have a video called Piecing Accuracy that I highly recommend checking out. You can find that on my YouTube channel. And it just has all the little things that go into making our seam allowances accurate. So once you have that sewn in and pressed, we have our units like this. And now we're going to trim it, and we're going to turn it so that our middle accent strip is horizontal. Placing our ruler back on top. Now the width of our unit is still 10 inches, but now it's also of course going to be longer. It's going to be 11 inches this way. So now we're going to make the same cuts we did before, but one little trick is we're not just going to look at the bottom and the sides. You want to look at your seam allowance, or your seams on each side, and take one of the horizontal lines on the ruler and just align it with your seam, which is kind of more important than your edges. So then we're just going to make the same cuts. I still do the 0 and the 10 because we want to trim off those edges, those pinked edges if they're there. So now we have our units apart like this. And we're ready to add our longer rectangle between those 2. And again, I start by sewing it to one side here, and then we're going to press, and we're going to now press it towards the middle strip. It's always easier when you're pressing in one direction to press towards a piece that doesn't have any seams versus something that have seams. So place this on top, and then we're going to press towards the strip, and then we would be ready to add the second piece. So when we do that, so here we are, I have my 2 pieces like this. And so here's a little trick and tip that I have for you, because what we want, of course, as we sew this on, we want these to be aligned. Sometimes it's a little hard to kind of gauge it, and if we sew it off, you can kind of see that our cross is a little cockeyed. So I have a little trick for you. So I place my unit on top like this, and first I can just feel with my fingers if my seams are aligned. And so I think I'm aligned and good. And then I check it. So I'm going to flip it over this way. I'm going to take this over to the close-up camera. So I flip it over like this. Here's my close-up camera. So I flipped it over, and you can see I have this piece on the bottom and then the long strip here. And I think I have it aligned. And so what I'm going to do is pull this and fold this over to this seam here. And what I'm looking at is that this seam here is going to connect straight into this one. But I see it's a little off. So then what I do, I can just scoot it a little further, try again until these seams are going to connect perfectly. I'm going to even come up closer so you can see it. So they're connecting perfectly on each side. Do you see that? So it's a really great trick. Just flip it over, fold it, see if they connect, and then I place my pins, which you want to place them. I usually always place them on both sides of the seam that we want to be accurate, and you always want to place your pins this way. And then as you sew, just remove them as you get to them. So then your block should line up really, really nicely, and there should be no need for any trimming because your block should be the perfect size that way. All right, so let's see if we have any questions on making these A blocks. Now the quilt, like I said, comes in multiple sizes, so depending on what size you are making, that will determine how many of the block A's you will need. Now, those of you that were going to be on my cruise and got a kit from me, I left some extra squares in there. So make sure you count what you're going to be using for A's and B's, because otherwise your sashing or your accent fabric won't add up. So just count them and you can pick your favorites. And then you have some extras if there any boo-boos happen.
Everybody loves your nail color.
Oh, they love my nail color, yeah. Manicure by me, so don't look real close. They are taking a beating as I am packing orders. It's not very good for your nails to be packing orders, but I do it. So what Lori was asking, what is included in each kit? Okay, so I think she's talking about Fast and Furious clubs, but I think I'm way behind here. So let's check out some questions about the Marina. Oh, everybody's loving that little flip over tip. It's really good for many times when you need to line something up and you're not nesting. There's a space. It's a really good way to do that. What is the name of my layer cake? Oh, these pieces, they're from different layer cakes. This is actually left over from when I made my quilt. But this was from a layer cake that we had in the shop early this year. I don't remember what it's called. It was a Riley Blake, but all kind of nautical themed. So that one, I just wanted to show it because trimming all those little pinked edges.
What size should the finished block be?
That's all in the book. So she's asking about the finished block. That's all going to be in the book. You will need the book to have the full instructions on how many rectangles and all that stuff for all your different sizes. Okay, so thank you. Kathy says your bundles are packaged so professional and nice. Well, that is the kids, so give them the kudos. My daughter is she's the one that lines them up in the arranging the colors. It's not just thrown in there any which way. She puts a lot of work into what fabric is next to what, and I like that because I would be thinking about that too. Okay, great. Well, if we don't have a lot of questions, that's always a good sign that the demo was good, but of course you can always go back and look at it. So somebody's talking about the tips and tricks on accuracy, on your piecing accuracy. Go back and watch that video. One of the tools that I use all the time, I have it just in my travel sewing bag, and it's a seam guide actually designed by my good friend Celine Perkins. And it's a little acrylic template that has a hole in it where because I work on different machines wherever I go. If I'm teaching somewhere, sometimes I have a loaners, and also just my vintage machines and all kinds of machines. You get used to where your perfect 1/4 inch is on your machine, because 1/4 inch feet are not all designed the same, and a 1/4 inch foot is not always a perfect scant 1/4 inch seam. So that little template, you place your needle through the hole, and then you can put your foot down, and there you'll see exactly where your fabric should be aligned for a perfect scant 1/4 inch seam. And what I mean by a scant 1/4 inch is just a couple of thread widths, less than a full 1/4, so that that fabric has room to fold over, and once you sew and press, your piece is completely accurate. So this little template is really helpful. So if you have a machine that you can nudge your needle over, you can use put it in there and nudge it over until that template is even with your foot that you're using, or you can just put a little marker on your machine to line up with. So Karen is asking about the size of the cut pieces. Again, that's all going to be in your book, so in the pattern, so you will need that. Barbara's asking, could you just use 2 colors from yardage? Absolutely. 1 color or 1 fabric for block A, 1 for block B. Absolutely. It'd be a very controlled quilt that way. What brand fabric did you use for the white and blue accent in the Marina kit that sold out? I found some of the deep blue sea fabric by Riley Blake, but need to find matching accent fabric. I actually use solids. I use really light tone on tones or solids. So this was a grunge dot that I used. And then this was just a spotted white. So grunges are great, or even just solid, like a Kona solid. I know Kona solids are very hard to find these days. I just talked to my distributor, and Kona white and black have been gone for a long time. Everybody's sewing masks out of those, I guess. So Kathy's asking, would this work in patriotic fabrics? I think that'd be fabulous. And the great thing about the Marina, you'll see the size of the blocks. If you have, themed fabrics, novelty fabrics, they're perfect. And if you have directional fabrics, perfect, because you can always turn them the right way, both for block A and block B. So I think it's great because the smallest piece is going to be 5 inches. So it shows off a lot of fabric, whether it's fun florals, whether it's patriotic, like our American Spirit bundle has those really great fabrics. And so anything with really a theme. So like, the nautical ones with this one with the whales, it's going to show off really well. And you can just turn them however which way, because you just cut it up and sew it back together so nothing really twists. So Francis is asking, is that tip demonstrated in the book? No, so that's the bonus that you get when I do these demos. This is the kind of tips that I give in my classes. So in a book, you can't write all that little stuff. You have to be really concise when you're writing a pattern before you start getting really confused. So that's the bonus of a live demo or being in a class. So that is not in the book. Elisa asks, do you complete the quilt from your step out blocks? Most of the times not. So when I travel and teach, I have step outs in bags. And of course, the intention is that someday it will be a quilt. I have a few halfway done quilts that way. Most times they do not end up in a quilt. They end up being demo blocks for a really long time. Tina is asking, what other of your patterns show off large prints? Of course, I would say Elvira, one of the newest ones, one that shows off really well. Teen Spirit is another great one. Clarissa is a great one. I would say actually Kira shows them off really well as well. So there's quite a few. Okay, thanks for the tips. All right, Kathleen says she's using a Moda beach house line a few years ago with lobsters and mussels. That's fun. That's really fun. Any questions on YouTube, Mr. Producer?
Can the seam guide be ordered on your website?
Yes, the seam guide. We stock the seam guide on my website. Celine just sent me a new shipment not too long ago, so we have the seam guide. It's called Perfect Seam Guide. It's really great, really good.
What is the scant 1/4 inch template called?
Is it Perfect Seam Guide? I think it's called Perfect Seam Guide. Now, I have to just, I'm going to double check it right now because I am so bad with names sometimes that I will make up stuff, but I don't want to make this up. But it's on the website under the Notions tab. I think it's called Perfect Seam Guide. Somebody chime in here that knows. Perfect Seam Guide. Yes, I got it. It's on there. All right. Somebody is asking, Gudrun, do you quilt your own quilts for the books? I do not. Anything that is big enough to quilt on a long arm machine is quilted by my checkbook and my wonderful quilters that I have in my arsenal. Really great, talented people that I love to support, and they do a fabulous job. Dream anything up much more than I could think of. However, some of my little things I do quilt myself. Table runners, little toppers. I play with that just with my free motion on my domestic machine. So otherwise, it's not. Okay, is that it for our questions? Are we ready to move on with our itinerary of the show? Hi from Australia, Judy's here. First time to catch this tip. Well, that's great. Thank you for being here. It's probably early morning. Why are they talking about you, Mr. Producer, so much? Mr. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Wanda's asking, will you have any more hummingbird? We sold out of it. I think the manufacturer was out. Hopefully, I'm gonna contact him this week and see if we have more because it just keeps selling out. So maybe we can get more if they have more. And another question on other fabric that I'm gonna give you an update on that a little bit later. Martha says, I love the workout TikTok with Mr. Honey and Kobe. Yes, they did a little workout TikTok this morning. Side by side dance. The dog and the honey. So that was interesting.
Daddy doggy dance.
Daddy doggy dance, it's called. So that's their challenge. I bet not many can repeat that. Because the first trick that Kobe learned when he was a puppy, the kids taught him how to dab. You know, that dance where you dab. So he's been a dabber for multiple years. Okay. Well, I'm going to move on. It's time to select our live winner. And so do you have our live winner set up, Mr. Producer? Debbie Pennington is our live winner. Congratulations, Debbie. You can go shopping in the GE Quilt Designs store. So now that we're done with the demo, of course, some people's favorite part is updates on the shop. I had good conversations with a couple of my distributors. Things are kind of crazy in distributor lives and fabric company situations, but I have been trying to get my hands on as much fabric as I possibly can. I have one new one new bundle in the store that I wanted to show you. This is a Free Spirit brand new fabric line. Actually, it's a basics line. And so I consider this like one of your basics. You know, maybe some of you have seen we have a bundle. It's called Stripe Bundle. So it's all stripes. So it's great for bindings and little tiny borders and stuff. And so this is all kind of the same print, but different colors. So it's called Stratosphere. And I just love it's kind of these hand painted like watercolor-ish stripes. So they go, in line with the selvage this way, but it has these shades. So I can see if you cut it this way, it makes a really fun small stripe. So these are the colors in the bundle. You can't see a whole lot of them this way, but we have this blue, and so I picked my favorite 12. There's a little more in the line, but I picked my favorite 12 colors that I would probably use and put those in the bundle. And we didn't get a whole lot of this because I wasn't really sure how, because this is probably not something you would put all in one quilt. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe. But I just think it's really a great accent. So a really great, actually, bundle that lives up to its name of being a stash builder. So we have this yellow, and then we have blacks and grays. So I could just totally see myself pulling this into something else. Be great for accent strips, things like that. So we have a purple, and then we have a violet and a red. So this is Stratosphere. And if this one sells out right away, we will get more. This is brand new from them, so we can reorder it, no worries. But I just wasn't sure on that one. But I think it's really, really cool and different, and I love to pick up something that's cool and different. And then we got a whole bunch of 1 yards. So we have, I don't have a sample of it, but if you go into the store, the Fabric by the Yard, so the 1 yard packs, we got so much new stuff, a lot of fun, bright ones from both Andover, from all kinds of fabric companies, and we got a motor shipment today that the kids are working on right now with a lot of new 1 yards and refills. So if you saw some of those sold outs, they will be refilled probably by tomorrow or the end of the night. We'll see. Probably not until tomorrow. And then I told you that I have a little special something. Oh, Paris fabric is coming back. So that was one of the phone calls I had today. I secured a couple of rounds of more of that fabric, Paris fabric. So I am putting that together. I just have to secure my accents, and so that'll be here hopefully next week. So those of you that saw that disappear too fast. And then of course I have an update on the Scandi fabric. This fabric I showed you way back in, was it March or April? So I just thought I'd show it to you again because a lot of you were not even watching our show back then. So this line is called Scandi. It's by Macaur UK and very Scandinavian Christmas prints in a very controlled colorway, just reds and grays. I am absolutely in love with it because it's very Scandinavian, of course. And I just think it's so pretty. The artwork is so pretty. And I picked my favorite 12 out of the line. I love these houses. So this is the bundle, and we've sold out of it now 3 times, and we got more. So this is being packaged in the basement. And to be fair, because a lot of you missed out on it, to be fair, I wanted to make sure that everybody saw during our live show, and this will be live in the store right now. It's not been live all day, all night until right now. Oh, so you can go right after the show and snatch it up. What we have left. I'm not sure I can get more because I've reordered this now 3 times. So we will see. But that is available. I love it, and I can't wait to make something with it. So that is it for me today. We have more fabric coming, but nothing to show you yet. Hopefully we'll keep it coming. But of course, make sure you join Gudrun's Quilt Crew if you're on Facebook. That is my group on Facebook. I will be live this coming Friday, but I'm going to finish this off with our giveaway question. So my giveaway question is, what size projects do you make most often? So I know some of you like smaller things, maybe some of you like big things. There's always those people in my classes that always make a king size quilt. Maybe you're one of those. For me, I would say for quilts, I probably make the lap size more often. Lap size or twin size is probably, yeah, lap to full, I would say. My lap sizes are pretty large. I like them to cover me. So that's probably what I make most often. I feel like it shows off the pattern for my pattern covers, and so that's probably what I do most. All right, so again, we will be here next week, so which is May 26th for another Tipsy Tuesday episode after the Memorial Day weekend. But please join me this coming Friday to kick off the weekend in Gudrun's Quilt Crew. On Fridays, we're live at 3 p.m. Central Time in the crew and on YouTube as well. We decided we're going to be on YouTube as well. So I hope I will see you there. And thank you so much for being with us this Tuesday night. And I'll see you later on this week. Take care, everybody.